For those select few that are already initiated, you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just vibe. Yeah. Just let that vibe seep in. Let that Gemini moon talk to you. We're gonna take just a few minutes and let a few people trickle in, and then we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. See, I ain't gonna be here for long today. I have some other matters that are pressing. So, we're gonna touch on the transits, elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. But then we're gonna get into the priceless top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology. What's cracking, Chuck? Yeah, what's up? We're gonna talk about it. Just make sure you hit the like button as you come in the door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. No. This is about algorithm. This helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Fine. Yeah, you got a whole Aquarius stellium hitting you up, Chuck. Yeah, that's the vibe. We're gonna talk about it just here in a few seconds. Let the vibe seep in first. See, fucking with me, the vibe is the most important part. You gotta feel me so it can resonate. Like that. On a trip to the galaxy, flying high. On a trip to the galaxy, but your feet won't leave the ground. Oh yeah. Ebony. Straight like that. Yeah, that's the kush. I appreciate it, Chuck. You are now a part of the Vibe Tribe. Welcome to the motherfucking PrIcElEs family. On a trip to the galaxy, flying high, away from misery. Yeah, I'm just flying real life, baby. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in the door. Find it and hit it. That's the least you can do. The ego is self-sustaining. It's the algorithm we gotta kick in ass. Double A, double A. Welcome to the function. We ain't gonna be here for long today. We gonna have to cut this at right about 2 hours. So I'm gonna quickly go through the transits. And we might not even take the time to really elaborate on the aspects. We might just quickly touch on those too, but then we're gonna get into that PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology. And when I say air placements, I'm talking about Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So we're gonna look at the top 5 most contradictory air placements. And we'll discuss why. What the fuck? Who fly like this? Cause we can vibe, or we can get into some real gangster shit. And I don't think you want that. Not with me. Fire. Yeah. It's about that time. I'm talking about that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. Hey, it's the Astro Girl Quay, my motherfucking sister. Yeah, she might be from another mister, but she's still my sister. And I'll protect her with a pistol. Yeah. Respect her to check it. Let that Gemini moon talk to you. See that Taurus moon shit from yesterday or from earlier even? That's over with. It's time to pick up the pace. You can feel your pulse quicken. Bye. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I need as many likes as I have people in the chat. And that's just a matter of respect. It's not about ego. As you can see, that's self-sustaining. Now, this is about algorithm. That just helps us expand the platform. Sharon C says, what's up with it? Boozy man, I have not prayed today. I should though. But let's get into what's going on cosmically, because I ain't got a lot of time to fuck with y'all today. It's not gonna be the 4 or 5 hour sessions that have been typical of late. It's gonna be about 2 hours today. Then I gotta go. It's time to go get a new car. Now, let's talk about the sun. Because as we speak, the sun sits at 27 degrees of Aquarius. So, the sun is telling you the best thing you can do for the collective is something different than what you've been doing. And what I mean is you got to try something. Do something. Get empirical. Open your motherfucking mind up. That's what the best thing that you can do for the world. See, I'm talking about you, but Aquarius isn't about the self. Aquarius is about the collective. And people fuck that all the way up because they get caught up in the weirdness and the awkwardness and the electric eccentricity and all that shit. But look here. As we have this whole Aquarius stellium in the motherfucking sky, the first thing you have to do is be willing to be different. The sun represents the will, the ego expression. So be willing to be different. Now, the sun is coming into a square with the moon, or it is square to the moon. Matter of fact, it's not coming into a square with the moon. The sun is actually, the moon is moving away from a square with the sun, if I'm being honest. Because for a second there, my mind got it all mixed up because the sun's at 27 degrees of Aquarius. The moon is at 0 degrees of Gemini. So, of course, the sun is approaching Pisces, but that won't be for 3 more days. The moon will be gone by then. So what you really have is the moon, because the moon moves quicker. The moon is moving away from that square that it was in at 27 degrees of Taurus with 27 degrees of Aquarius. Or what we call in astrology, separating. You have an applying aspect and a separating aspect. Applying means it's approaching. Separating means it's now moving apart. Just so you know. Now, back to regular scheduled programming. See, with the moon at 0 degrees of Gemini, you can find your feelings all over the place. You can find yourself all over the place. You don't really know what you want to do. You can find yourself more communicative and sociable than you've been in a while. And that's a beautiful thing. Just don't get stretched too thin. Now, the moon is coming into a beautiful trine with Venus, Mars, and Pluto. Or it's actually exactly trine to Venus and Pluto. And it's applying into a trine over the next 7-8 hours with Mars. And that's beautiful. That means there's no conflict with the emotions and what you want. You just gotta think, communicate, and enjoy it with Venus. You don't know what type of new stuff you could get yourself into. You just gotta think first, communicate those thoughts, and then enjoy. And it's an automatic process. This is Gemini and Aquarius. Think, then speak, then enjoy. Now, with the moon trine to Mars, it's easy to put action to those feelings and those wants. and those desires. So you can find yourself in a situation that's totally new. You might even find yourself having to be inventive, but that's cool. The moon in Gemini likes that. The moon in Gemini is a vibe that loves to get in the mix. The last thing it wants to be is bored, baby. You got to get on the go. And we just getting started. This is 0 degrees Gemini. This is the purest expression. So like I said, at first you might feel a little scattered, but all you have to do is employ the energy of Venus, Mars, and Pluto, that Aquarian energy. That means get inventive. Be willing to be empirical with the sun, but when you have Venus, Mars, and Pluto all sitting conjunct to each other in Aquarius, get inventive. Yeah. I appreciate the love, Sabrina. I'm a Libra rising. This is what I do. I'm a dresser. I'm gonna keep it clean at all times. Now, back to what I was saying. With the moon being in a trine with Pluto, this naturally ramps everything up. But that's not a bad thing here. This is a trine. So motherfuckers are more in tune. Quick. I'm talking about the mind, the emotions. They're intertwining beautifully. See, Mercury's in Aquarius too. It's just not being affected by this yet. That won't be till tomorrow. Mercury's exalted in Aquarius. So, this energy is electric and effervescent. What you know about that? What you gonna do with that? Better have some motherfucking fun. Now, I'm not even gonna entertain the trolls today. I don't got time for that. You're embarrassing yourself coming on this channel with that bullshit. We're here sharing knowledge and information, trying to raise the vibration. If you can't fuck with it, then fuck you. You dig? This is a vibe tribe. There are thousands of us all over the world. We're not thirsty for subscribers. We're not in need of attention. No, we got our own thing going here. It's about vibration. And everybody can't fuck with it. It might not be for you. Do you hear me? You will be banned and exiled with the quickness. Then you can observe, but you can never be a part of it, and you were never meant to be. You hear me? Coming on here with any type of negative trolling energy is an embarrassment to yourself. It just really shows that you can't go create your own channel and employ your own gifts and talents, whether it be comedy or trolling or twirling with your thumb up your ass or however you want to do it. You see how fly I am, and you came on here immediately got triggered, and that has something to do with something inside of you. You need to get to your trauma. Maybe you want to get a reading from me, and I can help you with your motherfucking trauma. You hear me? Now sit right there and take this knowledge, because I'm finna hit you deep. Yeah. Oh, no need to be nasty now. You came on trolling on my channel. Don't ever come in here with that. Now, with the moon in Gemini, understand this is a mental expression of emotions. So you could get a little nervous, or you could just really be thinking about feelings, but you don't know what you're really feeling because they're changing so quickly. What's going on is just evolving with every adaptable moment. With every adaptable moment. Hold on, let me address one more thing. I tried not to address the trolls, but you said much negativity with this one, feminine energy. You act like feminine energy is a bad thing. See, you're confused because you have no knowledge of self. See, feminine doesn't mean female, and masculine doesn't mean male. Feminine is really about receptive energy, where masculine is more projective. It's more about energetic expression, motherfucker. Maybe if you stayed here just a little bit longer. Yeah, you block, hey, Astro Girl Quay, block everybody that comes on trolling. If they come on with any shit, block them expeditiously. Forever. Forever, forever, forever. Yeah. We're a vibe tribe. We just ain't for you, sucker. And now you've been banned. I'm talking exiled forever. Now, the funny thing is with Mercury in Aquarius and this whole Aquarius stellium, it's not about you. See, each one of y'all that come on with this negativity don't understand it's not about you. It's about us. It's not even about me. This about us. See, people come on, want to make little quick remarks about sexuality, and we don't give a fuck about that. We're about spirituality. So anything you come on and say to anyone here is not going to be took as an insult to any of us. It's just an embarrassment to yourself. A complete and utter embarrassment. Now, let me continue. I told you I don't have time today. I have other things to do. So, with Mercury at 18 degrees of Aquarius, square to Uranus in Taurus, you got to get out of that safe space. See, in order for you to be different, you got to think different. It starts in the mind. It starts with a thought, an idea, then an expression. See, some will never understand it. And with Mercury square to Uranus in Taurus, you have to understand, a lot of us have a set way of thinking, a stubborn mindset, and it's worked for us. Might even be profitable, productive. But see, if you were willing to just try something a little bit different while also keeping those values in tow, what you end up getting is something much, much better. Yeah, you got to get out of that comfort zone. Think different. Think different, and then things can be different. And Mercury is sextile to Chiron in Aries. So you have to be willing to make mistakes. You got to be willing to trust your intuition and go with it. See, scared money don't make no money. And we got a lot of Taurus energy and a lot of Aquarius energy. So if you want to see wild gains, you got to be able to think outside the box. I don't think you hear me though. Yeah. Now, that brings us to Venus. Venus is now sitting at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So, with this right here, this is a level of freedom. This is where people want to do different stuff. People want to get inventive. And then even beyond the interpersonal aspects of this, when you look at the business aspects of this, this is where people are more worried about the effect of what they're putting together more than the profit. What is this going to do for people? How much freedom is this going to give me? It's not really much about the money. Because right now, money's going to be easy for a lot of people. Especially here in the United States. The people of the lower classes are going to get their taxes over the next few weeks. Their income taxes. And so when those income taxes hit, people are going to be into that. So money's not going to be their motive right now. People want to do what they want to do. That's the truth. People want to do what they want to do. People love freedom. And Venus is conjunct to Pluto. So you got to be able to get inventive and do something different if you really want to get the most out of it. You can make the most out of every situation with Venus conjunct to Pluto here. This intensifies it. Yeah. I don't think you hear me, though. This intensifies the whole motherfucking situation. So, this is a powerful expression of a love for freedom. And in our relationships, what you see is people don't want to do the same old stuff that they've been doing. Even if it's with the same old person, they want to do something different. Tired of the same old restaurant. I'm tired of the same old shit. Like, it's time to just do something different. Now, this is also in its purest expression where people are allowing for a lot more freedom in their relationships. You know what? I want you to be free to choose me. That's an important concept with Venus in Aquarius. I'm not holding you back. You ain't got the cuffs on you. Do your thing. And then if a motherfucker still choose you then that's real. That's real for real. Now, Mars. And Venus being conjunct to Mars and Pluto makes it even sexier. People might be doing some wild shit over the next few days. I'm serious. Sexually, people might be doing some wild shit. Motherfucker might flip you every way but up. That's the truth. Venus is conjunct to Mars and Pluto. Mars is conjunct to Pluto. It's all in Aquarius. Venus and Pluto are 0 degrees, the most raw expression. Yeah. Or you could see people being willing to fuck with the devices more than they usually would. Let's try to fuck with that. And you know what I'm talking about, the electronics and the roses. And I seen a bad thing the other day that looked like it'll kill a dude. Like, what the fuck? That shit was crazy. But that's the nature of it now. You got to do something different. You want to get maximum enjoyment out of every situation? Do something different. Be free in your expression of love. Let a motherfucker be free to choose. Hit the motherfucking like button if you haven't yet. Straight like that. Now, Mars is at 2 degrees of Aquarius. And Mars is conjunct to Pluto, but it's separating from that conjunction. It'll stay that way for about another week or so. But look, with Mars in Aquarius, there's a lot of energy here. But you have to find a way to personally discipline that yourself. And so you have to, first of all, get empirical in your approach. Once again, Mars is energy, for those of y'all that don't know. Mars is sex drive, it's desire, but it's also energy. Venus is want, love. It's the desire for harmony. It's also finances and business. Taurus is also going to be, the sign is going to be representative of that when we get to Uranus here in a minute, and Jupiter here in just a second. So just so we're clear with that. Mars is energy, action. How is this energy playing out? And with Aquarius, weird. There's some weird fucking energy out here. If you haven't felt weird energy lately, you might not be tuned in, because this shit is weird. It's like since 2024 came all the way around, shit has been fucking weird. It's been weird since 2018, but 2024 like ramped it up all the way around. Like right off the rip, a whole bunch of weird shit happened. It's fucking weird, man. And how do you deal with weird energy? Like I said, you get empirical. Getting empirical means to try different shit until you are able to come into a method that works for you. And then when you get into that, with Mars and Aquarius, it's sublime. And I don't use that word lightly. It's sublime. Automatic. That's what I'm telling you, C. Sipes. You have to get empirical. You have to try different shit to figure out what works for you. Now, I have to keep going. With Mars conjunct to Pluto in Aquarius, that also ramps that energy up, makes it so intense to where it's almost dangerous. It's so fucking intense that it's almost dangerous. So motherfuckers could get obsessive and compulsive about shit right now. People cannot know when to stop or how to stop. And I know that sounds sexy, but that can also be dangerous. Don't get that twisted. Not in the slightest. Now, that next gives us Jupiter. Jupiter is at 9 degrees of Taurus right now. What does Jupiter in Taurus represent? Peace, prosperity, patience, the power of accumulation. But it can also represent laziness, because Jupiter is all the luck that we're going to extract out of this energy that there is. Jupiter is boisterous, philosophical. Jupiter is a blessing. So where do the blessings lie? Jupiter also represents values. Taurus also represents values, funny as it is. No, Jupiter represents values. Taurus represents value. That's a better way of putting it. And valuable. What is valuable? Now, what you see beyond this is understanding that Jupiter also is about expansion, and it knows no limits. So when you have Jupiter in Taurus, people can get complacent, lazy, stuck, stubborn. Shit, they could be sitting fat down south. They could get gluttonous. And then people can also expect. People can expect. No, you have to learn how to be grateful. When I said be patient, I didn't say stop. I said slow and steady. Try to get on pace. You hear me? learn to enjoy the process. Now, the beautiful thing is Jupiter is sextile to Saturn. And as I've spoken on many times, what Jupiter does with Saturn here is bring an amazing calming effect. See, cool, calm, collective is what Taurus is about. Saturn in Pisces can bring fears and worries and stress and delusions into the mix. And so the beautiful thing that Jupiter is doing, should you choose to utilize it in a healthy way. Pardon me, I stuttered. Should you choose to utilize it in a healthy way, is it's just a calming effect. Calm down. Don't trip. It's gonna be okay. Take care of what you can take care of. Get creative. But there's also a thing that a sextile can do is with Jupiter and Saturn and it being Pisces and Taurus, it can make a motherfucker get paralyzed by fear. People can get so freaked out that they don't want to do nothing. I know that feeling. So you got to be careful about that. That's facts. You got to be careful with that. Now, make sure y'all hit that like button. Saturn is at 8 degrees of Pisces. And like I said, Saturn represents fear, duty, responsibility, hardship, hard work, mastery. And so with Saturn in Pisces, you have to first understand what Pisces is. Pisces is empathic emotion. It's emotion without boundaries. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. And as I just told you about Jupiter, Jupiter knows no boundaries. Neptune is empathic, but so empathic it's confused. It's creative and artistic. So Pisces is emotion. So when you see Saturn in Pisces, you're being called to master your emotions. Now, Pisces is also connected to the divine. Whatever you think of as divinity, then you look at Pisces like that. Let me help you out, Colton Brennan. Since you're here real fast. We don't care about sexuality. We care about spirituality. This is a vibe tribe. If you can't fuck with the vibe, fuck you. You hear me? You will be able to observe, but you won't ever be able to be a part of this. That's the truth. We're not for everybody. There's thousands of us all over the world. We're not thirsty for subscribers. We're not hungry for attention. No. We vibe. Now, with Saturn in Pisces, you're being called to master your emotions. Find your faith. Fuck fear. It's pointless. Resentment only holds you back. Addiction is dangerous in itself. Ignorance is not bliss. It's ignorant. Avoidance behavior doesn't do anything but let problems fester. Those escapist tendencies ain't gonna be there for you right now. Your coping mechanisms, shit, they might be dangerous in their own right. That's the truth to that. Those coping mechanisms might be dangerous in their own right, fam. So what you gonna do? survive. Make sure y'all hit the button as you're coming in the door. See, with Saturn and Pisces, you have to master your emotions. You have to find your faith. You have to understand life is not happening to you. Life is just lifing. You chose to come here. Pain is a part of this experience. The fear is pointless. I'm dealing with it every day right now, and I'm not going to get into my whole fucking life story like I did last time, but the fact of the matter is I'm dealing with myself right now. See, with Saturn and Pisces, fear is about emotions or stuff that happened in the past end up having too much control over the present moment and even your projections into the future. And then people get prompted to get more and more involved with other people because they don't want to deal with themselves. See, they get involved with more people because of a fear of isolation. And then what's also behind that fear is a complete lack of faith in life all the way around. And you got to deal with that inside of yourself. That means understanding you're not a fucking victim of circumstance. Karma is not consequence. God or the universe ain't doing nothing to you. Whatever you're going through is just a part of the process. It's just a part of the process. And you got to learn how to deal with your own shit. You have to deal with your own shit. That's what Saturn and Pisces is about. You have to learn how to deal with your own shit internally. A lot of people in the world are going through it. I know you feel compassionate because it's there. You can't ignore it. You can see it. Life is crazy. People are confused. People are sick. You might even be too. It's a part of life. It's a part of life, man. That's the fucking truth for Saturn and Pisces. You gotta understand you're not no motherfucking victim. Life ain't happening to you. It's just doing what life does, no matter what you're going through. And then when it comes to the situations with other people, you have to learn how to deal with your own shit, because your unwillingness to forgive, your resentment, it ain't doing nothing but holding you back. That's a burden that you bear. Nobody said invite them back into your life, but you gotta invite those emotions to heal. So you gotta learn how to process your shit on your own. It's about emotional maturity, mastering your emotions so you can really get in touch with the divine. To really get in touch with the divine. That's the truth of that, cuz. And find some type of way to channel it creatively if you can. Inspire other people. But for a lot of people, right now, it's about learning how to deal with your shit inside of yourself. The fear, the addictions, the ignorance, the avoidance behavior, the escapist tendencies, the resentment, the laziness, all of that shit. Forgive yourself and find a way to deal with your shit. Period. Now, Uranus is at 19 degrees of Taurus. So, with Uranus at 19 degrees of Taurus, hey, we're living in crazy times. It's crazy shit that happens all the time that just makes you not be able to find a steady footing, especially in the financial market. Shit ain't like it used to be. Ever since Uranus came into Taurus, things have been crazy. This happened right around, just a little bit before COVID-19 came. But this whole effect has been, the nature of business has changed drastically. for a multitude of reasons. For a multitude of reasons. It's not just because of COVID-19, even though that did make things different. But also because the people are so influential. But that also makes the market very, very unstable. Now, what it also does is create unique opportunities for everybody to profit. Each one of us could be getting fucking rich right now. That's the truth. It ain't hard to do. To make a lot of money is not hard to do. You just have to find your lane. And then once you find your lane, it's going to be motherfuckers that copy you or even steal your own motherfucking shit and make money off of you too. That's the nature of the shit we're in. Like, there are so many unique ways that you can make money for yourself in this world right now. So fucking many. Dancing. And just on YouTube, there's probably 50,000 different types of videos you could do to do your shit. It's not just about astrology or reactions or this. Like, there's all kinds of shit you could do. You could sit there and fucking work out in your house. You could just sit there and fucking talk about your journey. You got motherfuckers that fake having Tourette's syndrome all fucking day. And this motherfucker been on the news and everywhere else. But we know you ain't got fucking Tourette's. Like, that's the truth. That's the nature of the world that we live in. And man, you just have to find a stable place to operate from inside of yourself. And that's usually meaning, hey, you got to be willing to be adaptable to the situation. That means you can't get stuck in any way of doing things or any mode of operation. You got to be willing to switch it up when the shit changes up, because the shit is going to change up right now. Some shit that's cool and worth a lot of money right now could easily be like, oh, that shit's whack and nobody fuck with it in a week. All of a sudden, some shit that's always been looked at as trash for 50 years will all of a sudden, for some reason, become the most popular item that there are. A thrift shop will end up being a boutique just like that. Motherfucker will start a thrift shop and that shit will all of a sudden become hip in the city, or people will start liking a certain style, and then that motherfucker will be a boutique. I'm talking about just like that. What you gonna do? Yeah, just like the Stanley Cups. Yes, Uranus falls in Taurus because Uranus don't want it to be stable. That's why it's so crazy. Uranus wants Scorpio, wants chaos. Uranus falls in Taurus because the same reason that the moon is exalted in Taurus. God bless you, Timothy Jackson. But yeah, in these times that we're in, like, the nature of business has changed. There's so many unique ways to make money, but there's just no way for this to be stable. There's no way for it to be stable. And that's what it is. Hold on, I gotta get a drink. Now, Neptune. Neptune is now sitting at 26 degrees of Pisces. So the delusion is deep. Real ain't real no more. Like, the nature of reality is constantly evolving and people don't even realize it. That's the truth. What you thought was real is probably not. And then shit that you thought wasn't real has been all of a sudden revealed to be real. Then the very nature of our consciousness and reality has been said that this is not even real. They've said this is not even real. So the fact of the matter is, you have to learn how to let your inner compass be your guide. We live in a fucking copycat culture, and Neptune represents the culture. With us being so connected, we're not more compassionate than ever. No, we're more confused than ever. Motherfucker will make up a lie, and 50,000 people, then 100,000 people, then a million people believe it, and everybody will be in on that shit until somebody it debunks it. It's just that quick. They can put out some shit on with media or with the news and even AI that you'll think was some real shit, and it ain't. So with this shit right here, you have to let your inner compass be your guide. That means trusting the main line to the divine that lives inside of your motherfucking ass. You hear me? You got to trust the main line to the divine that lives inside of you. Period. Because this shit is confusing. Now, Pluto's at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So, things ain't just changing. They've already changed. And like I said earlier, it starts with the thought. It just starts with the thought. And sometimes it don't even have to be a conscious expression. It's just a willingness to think different. It's willing to take it to a radical approach. Like I said, look at the nature of politics. I always point to this. Because 4 years ago, a whole bunch of black folks, a whole bunch of folks would never think of putting Donald Trump back in office. But now, people so ready to get Joe up out of there, they willing. People that have no understanding of politics whatsoever are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard on for a change. That they're willing to go radical. If that's what it takes, that's what it fucking takes. This shit is so fucking fucked up. It's gonna take something radical. Whether it's right or wrong. And you're gonna have to try a whole bunch of different shit before you find what's right. Pluto is gonna last 20 years in Aquarius. With Pluto lasting 20 years in Aquarius, there's gonna be a whole bunch of changes. A whole bunch of changes. And it's gonna take a minute before we get to the right method. And there's gonna be a whole bunch of motherfucking unspoken suppositions that are gonna have to get destroyed. But in order for it to be a better world for all of us, that's what it is. But first, it has to start with the willingness to do something different. The radical approach, if you will. Fine. Now, back to what I was saying. Chiron is at 16 degrees of Aries. So you just have to hold yourself accountable for where your feet are. And that allows you to take action for whatever the fuck is going on with you. You're responsible for you. Now do something about it. You're even responsible for what you allow. if you got some fucked up shit going on and you have somebody doing you dirty, hey, you're also responsible for the part that you're playing in allowing that shit. Get away from it or fight back. That's the truth. You got to be responsible for where your feet are, and that allows you to take action. It comes from accountability. Chiron in Aries gives us awareness of that. You got to be responsible for where your feet are. Then you can take the next step. Vibe. Straight like that. Now, that brings us to the Black Moon Lilith being in Virgo. See, that's a hypersensitive energy. It can make people really start to be over analytical, super technical, too critical of others and self. You could be thinking too much. That fucks with your digestive system and your nervous system. You could be missing the forest for the motherfucking trees. You could be picking everybody else apart, trying to keep them off balance because you don't want your insecurities and your sensitivity to get exposed. Yeah, that's the Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. I see you. Yeah. I see you. So, that next brings us to the nodes. Now, the nodes are the North Node and the South Node for those of y'all that are new. The North Node is what you need to be doing. The South Node is what you automatically be doing. Now, it means something else in the natal chart, but that's what you have to look at right now. The North Node is what you need to be doing. The South Node is what you automatically be doing. So with the South Node in Libra, people are automatically kind of worried about everybody else right now. People are easily influenced, over-conciliatory, codependent. But nah, you need to be worried about you. That don't mean fuck anybody over. That means do what's right for you. Be honest in your expression. Live your truth as a verb. I ain't talking about speaking it. I'm talking about living it. It has to be an experience. With the North Node in Aries, the fact of the matter is, if you do what's right for you, it shouldn't be harming anybody else. Because they should be worried about doing what's right for them. This is not happening to just one person. This is the collective reading. So with the North Node in Aries, you just need to be honest in your expression. Live your truth as a verb. I'm going to live my truth as a verb. They're going to live their truth as a verb. With this conjunct to Chiron, that's the best thing we can do. Be responsible for where our feet is and take care of our motherfucking self. And that doesn't mean fuck people over in our relationships. That means if both of y'all are doing what y'all are supposed to do, then y'all should have a really strong bond. There should be nothing holding you back from growth. I don't think you hear me, though. Now, the numerology of the day is an 8 vibration. When we're in that 8 vibration, that means it's time to power up. And it also has a 7 connotation to it because it's the 16th. So with it being the 16th, in that 7, there's a karmic implication to that because you have that 16 karmic debt there. which represents an abuse of love. So you have to learn how to do right by people while also taking care of yourself, and that's empowering. How do you do right by people? By just doing what's right for you, by not fucking anybody over, being straight up. This is the 7, so the truth. That's gonna set you free spiritually. So experience your truth as a verb. Live that shit. Do what's right for you. You're gonna learn to do what's right for you. You got to. Hold on. Now, let's get back to what we was doing here. Because we done got through that, and I only got about an hour to give y'all the price list. Top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology. Now, when I say contradictory, you should know what contradictory means. If not, get out your dictionary and look up contradictory, or what a contradiction is. And when we talk about air placements, we are talking about Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra placements. And that could be any of the planets here, but we're going to look at the contradictions that some of these bring into the mix and how that presents in an individual. So, without further ado, let me get this going real fast. It's time to get into it. I don't concern myself with the shape of the earth. It doesn't matter what the shape is. I'm on this motherfucker, so I'm not wanting to get into arguments like that. That's a waste of energy. Because I don't know. Let's get into the price list. Now we're gonna wait about 1 minute. Where's everybody checking in from in the world? Where you checking in from? It's 3:09 in Narnia. Do you know what your motherfucking vibe is? I came from your mama's closet. Yeah. Royale Obey from Chi-Town. Oh. Nadifa. What's up? Where you been, Nadifa? You coming from Vegas. I thank you for your support, Nadifa. Hold up, let me I'm finna make you a moderator too, like the rest of the Vibe Tribe. Hold up. Like the rest of the tribal council. Wildflower coming from Worcester. Dijana Sturgis from Baltimore, Maryland. Where you been, Dijana? Beef Tempura Skates. So he's from Utah or something. Yeah, what's up? Junai, you from London. Shout out to London. Worcester, Massachusetts again. No, that's only the Wildflower though. I could have guessed Massachusetts for you, Daisy. Pittsburgh. Astro Girl Quaid from the Bird. What's up with it? We all over this bitch. Hey, now what's corny is you coming onto somebody's channel that's spreading positivity and you coming on some trolling shit. You just clowned yourself, bitch. See how fast you got dismissed? It goes down like that. The Astro Girl Quay don't play. I'm talking about at all. Now, I'm liking that. Let's get into the price list. Top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology, or in specifically in a natal chart. I appreciate it, Captain. We keep it cool. Or we keep it cracking like a bag of pork skins, however you want to take it. Now, before we get into the actual top 5, I do have an honorable mention. All right. And that's Aquarius rising. People with Aquarius rising, they're only honorable mentions because they just seem different. They really do. And as unique as they can seem, they're still focused on everybody else. People do look at them as a breath of fresh air or a spark plug, but they themselves just want to be like everybody else. That's the truth. And a lot of times they just seem different or foreign to you because you're not really willing to accept anything than what you're used to. But then when you get to talk to them and you get to interacting with them, you realize they're a lot like you. They're a lot like you. And like I said, as unique as they can be in character, a lot of the times their focus on life is still on other people. And that right there is quite contradictory. Because they end up just being like everybody else. Just like everybody else. So, the fact that they just seem different and their uniqueness is still focused on everybody else is the reason why Aquarius rising is the only honorable mention on our list. Which now brings us to the actual top 5. Hit the like button if you haven't yet. This right here is the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory AiR placements in a natal chart. Now, number 5, número 5. This is Gemini rising. Because if I'm being honest, Gemini risings alone, when it comes to their appearance, can be contradictory. Because I've noticed something. See, a lot of the female Gemini risings I know have certain masculine features. Whereas the male Gemini risings I know have a lot softer features. That's just how I see it. And then their personality is all over the fucking place. It's all over the place. Because they can seem like mischievous demons, but they're actually Rhodes scholars. Like they just seem like somebody who's, and then at the same time, it can be vice versa. You can see someone who seems like they have it all together and they're really intelligent, but they're really trying to get you for everything. They know how to work you. And they're going to work you. And they can be very communicative, but they can also be very introverted. And a lot of the times, their personality is going to vary from one moment to the next or from one environment to the next. They're going to be extremely adaptable to any situation. They can be extremely adaptable to any situation. Like all of a sudden, like damn. But the thing is, you're just seeing what's on the surface. What's underneath that is something a lot of times even more crazy. Even more crazy. So what you gonna do with it? Yeah, go Cowboys, Jordan Salinas. I'm gonna have to start doing some content on the Cowboys here soon. I'm feeling that too. Damn. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't really love the red, but it does turn heads. But yeah, when it comes to Gemini rising, their appearance alone can be contradictory. The females can have more masculine features. Matter of fact, I used to know this Gemini rising girl, and there was two things going on with her. One, she was beautiful, but she just had she was kind of square in the shoulders, but also she had just a couple hairs on her chin. And now you can every now and then with age you see that, but we was only in 19 and 20. And then on top of that, she had about like a whole 2-inch clitoris. All bullshit to the side. And so she just had like a lot of testosterone. And then some of the and I mean I tried, you know what I'm saying? I tried to, but it was moving and no, man, hell no. It was too erect. I just didn't feel right with myself. But Gemini rises, man, the dudes can seem very effeminate. They can seem very effeminate. Because the twin nature of it, the duality of it. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker trying to get me to suck that 3-inch erectable clitoris. I mean, there was a vagina there, but that was about a 3-inch erectable clitoris, man. I love you too, JB. But yeah, that shit was fucked up, man. And you know what I'm saying? I at that time in my life, I considered myself a gangster. So I just couldn't, I just couldn't suck it. I just couldn't do that. And it was too jumpy. And then, she just had a lot of testosterone. Maybe she lifted weights or something. You know how they be lifting weights and a lot of those athletes, she did a lot of weightlifting, powerlifting and stuff. Hey, I appreciate it, Twitter dub. But yeah, maybe she did a lot of weightlifting and shit. And so whatever had that testosterone pumping, but she was a Gemini rising for sure. And then no matter the sexuality, like I said, a lot of the guys will be effeminate in their way. And when it comes to their nature, of their personality, they're very communicative. But a lot of the times, they just talk really well. And sometimes they're going to really seem like they know what's going on. But they could also just be really good at talking. And then other times, you're going to see some that seem like they're really kind of cheesy or have a nefarious character, but they're really extremely intelligent. And they stay in their books. So that's something I would say. So the appearance alone can be contradictory, and their personalities all over the place. And, they can just seem like mischievous demons, but they're actually fucking Rhodes Scholars. And vice versa. And all of that is why Gemini risings are number 5 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5. Most contradictory air placements in astrology. Now, believe in me. I almost knocked my mic over. Dang, why we hot JB? Now, damn, why? Because you said women get facial hair for weed? Y'all vicious. Now, I mean, what if that is the actual? Have you looked to see if that is some type of scientific fact or not? Now, because I mean, that could end up being something that might be factual. Now, back to where I was going with this. Number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology or in a natal chart in specifics. Libra moon. And why? Well, first of all, Libra moons are relationship people who care more about the appearance of the relationship than the human beings involved, including themselves. It's about being in a relationship. It's not about caring for a person. That's a thing with Libra moons. And their feelings are so refined that they don't feel them. They think about them. It's not an emotional expression. It's a thought experiment. And they're very tolerant, so it seems like they care. But no. They're just very tolerant. They don't really give a fuck. They're unbothered, really. And they can really help. They can talk, and they can really give you great advice because they look at things objectively without emotion getting in the way. But it's really, for them, not about nurturing you. It's about doing what's right. And people get caught up and they'll be like, oh man, that person really fucks with me. They'll think a Libra rising really, not a Libra rising, pardon me, a Libra moon really fucks with them in a certain way. But no, they're just doing what's right. And they really just know how to deal with people one-on-one really well. And they're very codependent. Don't get it twisted. People with Libra moons are extremely codependent. But what's crazy is they need to be by themselves in a space of their own for them to get themselves right. The relationship only just gives them more things to be concerned with. But they want the relationship. But what they need is a space totally of their own that they can make beautiful for them, and so they can know how to be okay, because that's the only way that their emotions come out. Like, these people have feelings that are so refined that it's not an emotional expression. It's a thought experiment. And they're definitely relationship people, but they care about being a relationship. They don't care about you as a person. As beautiful and amazing as having a Libra moon sounds, the truth of the matter is Libra moons don't even fuck with feelings like that. It's not about feelings. See, the scales of Libra are the only inanimate object in the motherfucking universe of the zodiac, pardon me. Everything else is something alive. No. Their feelings are so refined that they don't even feel them. They think about them. It's not an emotional expression. It's a thought experiment. That's the truth. The love of Mickey and Yuppie. I love you too, Russia. Yeah. That's the truth. And they care more about how things look than how things are. That's the truth. It's not really cold. It's just superficial. Hey, I'm married to a Libra moon. I know it. I got a Capricorn Libra moon here. My daughter is a Capricorn Libra moon also. So this is something I see all the time. And they themselves, they're very tolerant. And they seem like they care, but no, they're just tolerant. It's because they're unbothered. If you knew how unbothered they are, you would trip out. And all of that right there is why Libra moons are number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements. Now, back to regular schedule programming. Number 3 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology is somewhere where we're at right now at 0 degrees, and that's Venus in Aquarius. See, with Venus in Aquarius, these people love you so much that they don't give a fuck what you do. And it's not like they're gonna accept what you would do with Venus in Pisces. They just want you to be free to do whatever you want. They're not really tripping on you like that. They love you so much that they're not even tripping on you like that. See, for them, that's what real love is allowing you to do you. Be free. Motherfucker, I love you so much that I'm not tripping on you. And that shit right there is contradictory in its own right. That's the truth. You know, they want to be with you, but they also want you to be free. They want you to be free to choose to be with them. And when you are with them, with Venus in Aquarius, they want to do new stuff with the same old person. They want to do all kinds of new stuff with the same old person. We don't want to get comfortable together. See, that's the truth. They don't want to be comfortable with you. They don't care about comfortability. They care about freedom. And sometimes that's hard to grasp because it seems like they don't give a fuck about you. It's like, damn. You really just dipping it, you just not tripping like that? For people who have to have those deep emotional bonds, it can make them play games with the Venus in Aquarius person. They can start to play games with them. Because what they're going to do is be like, man, I'm going to try this and see if you trip. I'm going to try this. I'm going to push this button to see if you really care. And the fact of the matter is they're going to let you do what you want to do. They're not going to show that. And for them, that is showing that they care. And it's hard to understand. It's hard to understand. They love you so much that they don't give a fuck what you do. They want you to be free. They want to be with you, but they want you to do what you want. They'll let you do what you want. I see it. My stepmother is a Venus in Aquarius. My daughter is a Venus in Aquarius. Like, they really don't trip. And sometimes you can think that they don't give a fuck about you, but that's their way of showing that they care, is by not tripping on you. They'd rather be your friend more than anything else. They'd rather be your friend than be the person that's obsessed with you. And sometimes a motherfucker wants a deep, intimate bond. And it can seem like, man, they're incapable of true intimacy. But it's more or less like, man, I love you. I want you to be able to experience love freely. That's an ultimate expression of love. Love is somebody so much that you're going to allow them to experience love freely in whatever way they want to express it, with whoever they want to express it with, and you love them regardless. You're going to love them regardless. And that shit's contradictory. Like, a lot of people be like, that ain't love, man. Like, what the fuck is that? That's not love, motherfucker. You not caring what I do, that's not love. Cause I love you so much that I never want you to go do this or do that. And they be like, it's not about me wanting you to do this or want you to do that. I want you to enjoy your life and be free doing so. That's the real. So do that. And all of that is why Venus in Aquarius is number 3. Numero 3 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology, or in a natal chart in specifics. Now, that brings us to number 2. And number 2 is a doozy. Number 2, when it comes to the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements, fucking Mars in Libra. Mars in Libra. Because Mars in Libra is cardinal. And so that's supposed to make it assertive. But that's not. Mars in Libra is cooperative. Compromising. And it's not assertive. It's reactive. You know, and what's crazy is there's some Mars and Libra people that will seem mean or tough. But that really stems from bitch assness. They act like that because they're really bitches inside. They get mad at themselves and frustrated because they're always giving in. Because they can only get what they want through compromising. And so they never really get what they want, all of what they want, because they're always having to incorporate other people into it. And they're always having to cooperate with the next motherfucker. And so they spend a lot of their time angry because it's the reactive nature of the Mars in Libra. They want to always lash out and all of a sudden show that they motherfucking a bad motherfucker, but it's not because they're a bad motherfucker. It's because they really feel like a bitch inside of themselves, and they want to prove that they're their own person. But like that shit is reactive. It's not assertive. Nah, beats you ain't no bitch. You just do bitch ass shit probably. Like, you know, bro. Like, it's not about, like, they'll get into a fight just to prove that they'll fight. That's Mars in Libra. Like, bro, that shit is a reaction. Like, ain't nobody flexing like that. They'll go trip out on you and take some and be mean to you all of a sudden because they let somebody else get over on them. And so it's all of a sudden they I ain't nobody's bitch. And so all of a sudden now I'm motherfucking treating you some type of way because they feel fucked up with themselves inside and they're frustrated about a situation where they compromised where they didn't want to. Where they were over conciliatory or too easily influenced. Now their ability to compromise is awesome. They really know how to work with other people. But sometimes they wish they could just do their own thing. And they're frustrated with themselves about it. And so what you get is reactive anger or a frustrated expression. And that's something they need to deal with inside of themselves, man. That's something they got to deal with inside of themselves. That's on you, baby. Yeah. That's on you. Now, that brings us to number one. I hear you, cuz. Number one on the list of the price list, top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology, but in the natal chart specifically, is where we at right now. It's Gemini Moon. Man, Gemini Moon motherfuckers are all over the place. I got 2 sons in there with Gemini Moons, and like, what is that? It's like, just when you think they're one way, they show you something completely different. I'm talking about all the way to the contrary. And when it boils down to it, they don't want to be figured out. And if they think you're figuring them out, they're gonna show you something different. Like, motherfucker, you don't know me. You ain't got me figured out. They don't even know. And they talk about feelings really well, but they don't have emotions. They can talk about your feelings. They can talk about the next motherfucker feelings. But them, they don't really fuck with emotions like that. And they be all over the place. They have a lot of frenetic energy. They have a lot of frenetic energy. And they can be fucking messy, and then they can be mischievous, and then they can be like really introspective and really in tune. See, I got 2 of them. A 14-year-old and a 13-year-old. A Libra sun, Gemini moon, Capricorn rising. No, my bad. A Libra sun, Gemini moon, Capricorn rising, and a Leo sun. My oldest one is a Leo sun, Gemini moon, Virgo rising. And so, with them in there, like, they're complete opposites. Like, you want to think about the placement of Gemini moon, like, both of my sons are complete opposites, man. The Leo sun is very quiet. He's very thoughtful. He kind of internalizes everything and just soaks up everything from the environment all the time. And he can talk really well. He's intelligent, but he's a very internalized. But his son is in the 12th house too. But he's a very internalized individual. Where my Libra son, Gemini moon son, he's talking all the time, and sometimes he spends hours at a time just spitting out random facts and shit. Like, did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? And you be like, hey man, did you know how to shut the fuck up? I mean, you never say that to your child, but it's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, no, I didn't know that. But then when it comes to their nature, they're all over the place, and you'll never be able to figure them out, and they won't let you. The last thing they want to be is figured out. They are very intelligent, but it's not applicable knowledge. They know all types of shit, and they're good with their hands, but they're still C students. Plain and simple. They're still C students. So man, that's something in its own right. Still C students. But yeah, man, Gemini moons are just walking contradictions. You really can't know what to expect from them. Because just when you think they're one way, they're going to show you something completely different. And They really, really just live life skimming the surface. They don't mean nothing either. You said that don't mean nothing, but they don't mean nothing either. I'm telling you. They don't mean nothing. Like, a lot of times you have to take everything that's said with a grain of salt, because they just be saying shit. And like, you'll just never know them for real. I'm not even going to entertain that, the plug. Because anybody that calls themselves the plug on social media got to be a sucker. You dumb fuck. Yes, Taylor Swift. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. So all of that is why Gemini moons are #1 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements. So let's run down through there one more fast. I said one more fast. One more time before we go. My bad. My mouth is really dry. I need to speak right. Hold up. So the only honorable mention, and the first honorable mention that we had on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements was Aquarius rising or Aquarius ascendant, for those of y'all that aren't familiar. And people with Aquarius on the rising sign, they just seem different. And the thing is, they are very unique, but all of that uniqueness is still focused on everybody else. And then when you see them from afar, they just seem different. When you talk to them, you realize they're really a lot like you. They're a lot like you. So that's why they're the only honorable mention. Now, when we get into the number 5 of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology, you get Gemini rising or Gemini ascendant, because their appearance alone can be contradictory, you know, and their personalities all over the place. But when it comes to their appearance, like I said, you're gonna look at them and you're gonna think one thing, but what you're really gonna get is something completely different. And even when it comes to the females having more masculine features and the males having more soft feminine features, that's something that you see prevalent with them. That's the truth. Now, a lot of them can seem like mischievous demons, but they're actually Rhodes scholars and vice versa. And that's why Gemini rising is number 5. Now, number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology is Libra moon. And the thing about Libra moon people is they're relationship people, but they care I can't even say it right. They care way more about the relationship than the people involved, including themselves. They want to be in a relationship. They don't care about the person. You'll see that when y'all break up and they moved on just like that, because it's about being in a relationship. It wasn't about being with you. It wasn't about being with you. And their feelings are so motherfucking refined that they don't even feel them. They think about them. And they're very tolerant. So it seems like they really care, but a lot of times they're just really tolerant. They're just really tolerant. And they're codependent. But they have to be by themselves for at least a little bit every day. They have to. And all of that is why Libra moons are number 4. Number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology. Now, number 3. Number 3 was Venus in Aquarius. Because with Venus in Aquarius, they love you so motherfucking much that they don't give a fuck what you do. And there's people from the outside looking in and be like, how is that love? And the thing is, they care about being your friend. They want to be with you, but they also want you to be free to do whatever you want to do. And if you choose to spend your time with them, that's cool with them too. But if you choose to do other shit, then they're not going to sweat you because they love you so much. Freedom is intertwined with happiness with this. And, you know, when it boils down to it, they want to do new stuff with the same old person. They might even want to be with you and do new stuff with somebody else together. They're that type. So all of that is why Venus in Aquarius is number 3. Now, number 2 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology, but in the natal chart specifically, is Mars in Libra. Because it's cardinal, so it's supposed to be assertive, but no, it's compromising. It's conciliatory, easily influenced. And so this is not assertive energy, it's reactive energy. Therefore, it's frustrated. So a lot of them can seem mean or tough, but it really is caused by bitch assness. They're just trying to prove that they're their own person because they feel fucked up about some shit that they didn't let go on, or some shit that they compromised about that they didn't want to compromise about, but that's the only way they know how to do it. And it's frustrating to them, so they take it out on you. Motherfucker be fucked up about something that has nothing to do with you, but now they gotta prove that they're not a bitch to you. Like, that's the fact of the matter is. And that's fucked up. Now, all of that is why Mars in Libra. I got Libra moon. Mars in Libra was number 2. Now, number 1 was Gemini moon. And they're just all over the place. And just when you think they're one way, they're going to show you something completely different. And they don't want to be figured out. They ain't going to let you figure them out. What would that serve? And they seem very friendly, but a lot of times they can be very mischievous. And they talk to just about everybody. And they can talk about just about anything. So you can think that they're highly intelligent, but they might not really know nothing about nothing. They just talk really well. And in other cases, they don't say nothing, so you think they're dumb, but they really know way more than you could ever imagine. Because they're a sponge. It could come out expressively, or in certain cases, it can come out something that's like a sponge. Like they're soaking up everything. Yeah. And they talk about emotions, but they don't feel. And all of that. All of that is why Gemini moons are number 1 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 most contradictory air placements in astrology. So yeah. We done with that. So before we go, because we only got like 15 more minutes, does anybody have any questions? I got to leave in 15 minutes. I have some other stuff to do with my wife. If you with it. And I am. AA, you said, does a 0-degree Cancer moon have Gemini energy? Are cusps real? No, cusps aren't real. I mean, it's gonna, if you look at it from a sidereal and a Western perspective, then yeah, it's gonna have some Gemini energy. But fundamentally, I would say that's the purest expression of that Cancer energy. And I'm not I'm not really with cusps. There's house cusps, but not sign cusps. You're 29 degree of one sign or 0 degree of the next sign. But you also have to be willing to, as an astrologer, look at it from both a sidereal perspective and a Western perspective, and then you can say, well, there might be some, there might be a little Gemini connotation in there. So most definitely. Hold on, let me see what else they got. I missed somebody's questions. What about Mars in the 12th house in Cancer? Oh man, you be frustrated too. You're passive aggressive. I don't know if that's you, but whoever that is passive aggressive than a motherfucker, man. And so you have a lot of issues because you're so feeling oriented, and your moods have to be accommodated for everything. So you can be really frustrated and mad sometimes because and then like just be so fucking because you're so fucking passive aggressive about shit, and everybody has to compensate for your emotions. So your emotions are very controlling over situations, even like relationships. Like you can be bossy and stuff because your feelings are just a colossal force in every interaction, and your feelings are so strong that you have to compensate for emotion and everything, and so it makes your energetic expression more frustrated. Not all what, Nadifa? And Venus, progressed Venus in the 5th house. It's time to have fun. With the progressed Venus in the 5th house, it's time to have fun. You got to figure out what you enjoy and do that. Yeah. Next question, please. We got 10 minutes and we out. Aries Venus, you're impulsive. You jump into shit. Are you here? Oh, okay. I was seeing how much time I had. All right. Bye. I love you. Hold up. I said I love you, nigga. All right. I love you, mama. Bye. Anyway, what's up? Any more questions before we go? Can I rap about Skibby DB toilet? No. I rap about your mama. What's up, Obama? Yeah. Welcome to the vibe. Any more questions before we go? Because I'm fixing to be out. I'll be back in a couple of days. Nadifa, I ain't gonna pray for you. You gotta go at all. You're a walking contradiction with all that air, player. He said, what does it mean to have Jupiter opposite to Pluto? That this life certainly has its ups and downs for you. And your own tendency to over-exaggerate and overcompensate and see yourself in such grandiose terms only makes it hard for you. But you do have a lot of power, and you can manifest a lot of shit. But a lot of times you make it harder for yourself by accepting more than you know about, or taking on positions that you're not qualified for, or like you have a lot of luck when it comes to that. But a lot of times you end up having to fucking deal with shit that you can't handle because you make things harder by overcompensating or exaggerating. Is rising sign conjunct a partner's moon better than I don't think one is better than the other. They're both interesting in their own dynamics. I've had sun conjunct partner's moon, and that was very it was a very interesting relationship. Like we didn't get along real well. We had an awesome attraction to each other. We had a great sexual and passionate dynamic, but we didn't get along really well. But maybe it's because I'm a Cancer sun. That can be a different dynamic in its own right. Is Rahu a real placement due to karmic debt? Rahu is real, most definitely. I mean, Rahu is the North Node. But I want people to understand before we go that the Vedic expression of Rahu is different than the North Node. Like, just because you're saying Rahu when you're talking about the Western North Node, and it is Rahu, but it's not the same as Rahu the way that the Vedic people are calling. Rahu has a personality. Rahu is like a mix of Uranus and Pluto, and it's like, it's dynamic. Yeah, you caught us right at the end, Hampton. All right, what about Jupiter? What about Venus opposite Uranus and Saturn? That allows for a good relationship, but it's got to be an unconventional relationship. It has to be something that's not like everybody else's stuff. Like, y'all could really have a strong relationship bond, but y'all have to have something unconventional. Yeah, subscribe, Noon. You said Jupiter in Virgo conjunct your rising in synastry. With Jupiter in Virgo conjunct the rising, you can learn a lot from that person. But at the same time, like, it can feel like it's too much. There's a big time connection. There's a big time fun when y'all get to, but and a lot that you can soak up. But also it could be like, damn, it's too much. Especially, and with Virgo, they can also kind of make you nervous sometimes. Difference between 8th and the 12th house. The 8th house is the subconscious. The 12th house is the unconscious. The 8th house is crisis in the primordial part of you. The 12th house is the divine. That what goes beyond explanation. The 12th house is, they're both solitude, but the 12th house is inside of you. The 8th house has to do with other people and sharing and intimacy and resources, and the 12th house has to do with you. You. They both have karmic implications. We got 5 minutes. Let's make them count, and then I'm out. Hold up, somebody call me. Hold up, my wifey called me. Yeah. What's up, honey?
I don't know. I want to do something now because I'm up for doing something. How far is it? But when you get here, we will. I'm getting off in 5 minutes anyway. All right, babe. Yes, I have a lovely wife. Now I missed somebody's question. Partner's moon in your natal 12th house. Y'all have a deep spiritual connection, but sometimes it's like you need to build some boundaries. If y'all don't, there's no boundary. Y'all have such an awesome spiritual connection that y'all have to have some type of boundaries. You have to establish some type of boundaries. SB, you said, what about you and your partner having the same exact birth house placements as well? Is that karmic? Um, I would look more, if you're looking for something karmic, I would look for North Node connections. You need to look at North Node connections. You know, those nodal connections are going to represent karma between people that goes, that goes beyond just this lifetime. Like, for instance, with my wife, her ascendant is on my North Node. You hear me? Her ascendant is conjunct my North Node. And her North Node is on my descendant. So she's supposed to, it's about being in a relationship with me. She's my wife. Like, you know. So having that nodal contact definitely makes y'all have some karmic implications in there. What do I think will happen in October? I'm not sure. I haven't looked, Vigorous Wolf. Should you treat Rahu as an illusion? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Can't do that. Can't do that. Hey, we got 3 more minutes, and so I want to thank everybody for coming today. I know it had to be a little bit shorter, but I have some other stuff I want to get taken care of. You don't tame Rahu. You go towards Rahu. You work with Rahu. But for any of y'all interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't ever get at me in these comments. No, get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. All right, that's mr.turner1300@gmail.com. All right. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. It's been a cool experience. I offer all types of readings, and I definitely need the business. I will be back in a few days. Probably Monday or Tuesday. I just can't sit here for free anymore. I have stuff I gotta do with my family, and I just can't sit here for free right this minute anymore. I gotta go mind the business that pays me. I gotta go do something that's actually lucrative. So, thank y'all for everything. I hope you enjoyed the top 5. Don't trip about all of this energy, this Venus conjunct to Mars, conjunct to Pluto, with the moon doing all, like, just because you're built like that, you don't have to build like that. And that means this energy is affecting all of us. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. Just because you're built like that, it don't mean you have to build like that. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And this has been some priceless knowledge of self. I love you. Keep it real. Don't get lost in the sauce or caught up in the culture. We out this piece.